Hello, good morning to you all. Up bright and early this morning, 9:15. Was up actually at like 6:30 with the girls this morning. But this is too true. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. So seizing the moment, going ahead, getting that watch list done. A lot of fun activities with the girls today. And as always, guys, if you haven't checked it out, My Life as a Day Trader Mom, my newest blog, that's why I'm doing this so early. Sometimes it takes getting up early to get this stuff done and making everything work all together. Also, if you guys have not already checked it out, TrendSpider, amazing, amazing. You guys know I follow the volume. And so these new raindrop, I keep calling them teardrop, I don't know why, but they're raindrop candlesticks, which is too cool because you can see right here when you zoom in, when you zoom in, you can see, okay, well, this part on the left was the first half of the trading day, and this part on the right was the second half of the trading day. So it looks like there was more volume at the bottom during the morning trading, and then you have the open and the close as well. And then here you have massive volume at the end of the day, right? And they also do the automatic trend line. So it looks like potentially, I'm going to go ahead and do the SPY analysis right here. It looks like we might go up and test this line right here up in the, let's see, I got to bring it back out to see the price there. Or I can pull it down here. So we've got a price action potentially of 300, let's say 350 for Monday. So that might be the potential test before we see it pull back down. This green line is also a trend line as well. So we've broken above this trend line, holding above it. So we might be testing between these two areas in the upcoming week. And I love the fact that you can go, okay, we have the weekly chart here. Let's go ahead and do the 1 hour chart versus the daily chart. So you can do two different time frames and you can see how they correspond. So this dashed line is going to be the daily and these are going to be the hourly ones right here. So it looks like we have found, you know, it's been riding, the EMA is up completely, and then we have this also, it's so cool, the multi-time frame analysis. These are the daily lines, right? So you can see, oh, okay, we came down, we tested the 15 EMA on the daily, and then we bounced up. So you could potentially set that as a potential entry on whatever stock that you're looking at. So definitely a super cool way to analyze stocks, everything like that. And of course, there's different candles. You can go back to the regular candlesticks if you don't like seeing that. I just like to visualize where the volume is on the candlestick. So let's go ahead and get on over. As always, guys, please do your own due diligence, you know, trade with proper risk management and know that no results are guaranteed in trading. And we will get into the SPY analysis here. So yes, we've been riding the 4 EMAs. I really love this 21 EMA here because many times you'll see once it breaks above, that's pretty much the trend, right? So we had this consolidation week right here. We broke above, we tested that level of the high back here, and then it just has continued to go on up. We didn't break to new highs on Friday, but we had highs on Thursday, started out lower, pulled back to the 4 EMA, and then surged back up again. So in my opinion, I'm thinking, oops, I didn't mean to set that alert or change anything. So I'm thinking we're going to go up here. I also drew that trend line on my chart from the daily, and it looks like, yeah, 300, a little bit higher, probably 360 for the week. We did have higher volume on Friday. So we'd had a bit of descending volume here, and then it surged up, a little sell-off with higher volume there, but we are holding above this level with the higher volume. And now we're continuing in the upward trajectory. So we might be testing that 300 level before we have a further pullback. Going into the NASDAQ, we have, good morning, Bat Scientist. So we have the same scenario, same candlesticks, and I've set alerts because we could be breaking out this week higher highs before we pull back lower. As the Fed says, they're really waiting for signals to go ahead and cut rates, and Trump is going crazy about it. But for now, This market doesn't seem to signal that we need to have a rate cut. I think that if it were to be pulling back like it did in June, that, or throughout May, that then they might go, oh, okay, well, maybe we're going to go ahead and have a rate cut. So you can see this pattern. We've got a nice big V here, sort of actually a head, sort of an awkward head and shoulders, shoulder here, head, and then shoulder area here, and it's continuing up at the moment. We also have the Russell as well, where we'd had this golden cross to the upside here. It did pull back, but we are breaking up above it now, and all the averages have crossed up above the 200 right here and the 50 simple, and it's continuing to the upside. So for now, feeling bullish on the market until it gives us signals that we need to go ahead and be cautious for a sell-off. I think a lot of people have been hearing the news, oh, we're going into a recession, but until it actually signals that we're into a recession, it's bullish, as everybody's piling those 401k dollars into the market. The big guys are piling it all in at the moment, and it's not clear selling. Once we start to see, okay, so if we break this level and we continue up on the Russell and then up here again and we test that as well, then if we start to see that we're selling and we're breaking down above the averages, if we also look at the 50, here's the 50 here, we've broken above that strong on the SPY as well as on NASDAQ. So really, it's looking more bullish at the moment, but at the same time, the big guys are going to say, hey, let's go ahead and get everybody's confidence up. Let's go ahead and get them to get into the market. Let's take it to new highs, and let's sell our shares to them so that they're buying, and they're going to be the people buying at the top when we are looking to sell. Also looking at the SPY, right, on the RSI here, the purple line, it's at 67. It's not in that oversold area. So every time we keep touching 70, it pulls back a little bit. And then here we are just at about 70 as well. It pulled back a little bit. And the CCI, the Commodity Channel Index, is pulling back a little bit, but we're still not at that overbought area. Like back here on June 18th, it looked like it would have been a potential sell signal. However, we did pull back just a little bit on the daily here and then surged up, and it's not looking like we're really having a lot of strong sell signals at the moment. Doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but we keep breaking out, and I think the shorts are getting squeezed. So let's go ahead and get into the watch list. For potential longs, we have AZUL here. So the Brazilian area was really hot on Friday. AZUL is a Brazilian airline. When we pull it back on the 15-minute chart, you could see it's having a 52-week breakout, support of 37.43 and resistance of 38.30. Let me just go over to my other computer here. Float of 109 million, and it was 38.46% short float volume on Friday. Sava is a healthcare biotechnology stock, 1.43 for support and 1.49, 1.5 for resistance. You can see this one has been hovering down here, and we finally had a breakout of resistance right here. So this one does have 15 million in the float, could be a potential low float runner. I would say the next potential resistance, 167, and then we would test potentially the $2 mark. So keep that one on watch. Next, and that one did have 58.12% short float volume on Friday. Next one is SB, Safe Bulkers. So a lot of the shipping industry had big movement on Friday as well. Really like this one because it's right at a resistance area. It could be breaking out on Monday. Might happen in the pre-market activity. You can see over the past couple of days, it has been running up, had bigger volume on Friday. It did have big selling here, but look at that. It closed above the VWAP. It's closing above all the averages, almost at the high of the day. Support of 1.83, resistance of 1.29. It does have 54 million in the float, and it was 53% short float volume on Friday. Next, we get into TSU. So this is a telecommunications company. You can see surged up overnight on Friday, held those highs, and ended very strong. 52-week high almost. We're at 17.68. So it looks like it might be on that trajectory to go ahead and continue up. 15.66 for support and 15.89 for resistance. It did have 34% short float volume. It does have 484 million in the float. We do have, you can see that it's right in this area right here. I really love the, drawing the support and resistance lines, because you can see how in the past this support acted as resistance and then it broke above, and this acted as a prior resistance as well. Here, and then, right here it was support. So keeping this on watch after we break out 1610 and then potentially 1628 and on up to 1650 for potential targets for exits. But the higher volume looks good. It is looking a bit overbought on the commodity channel index, but it could be a good one for the upside. Next one is BLDP, Ballard Power System. This is a fuel cell technology company. So you can see multiple point resistance again. We've had it here. This was support acting as resistance, could potentially break out. Next levels up, if we do break out, I would say would be right here, 440, 448, and then we've got the high of 462. So we're not too far away from that all-time breakout for the year. If we back it out even further, after that, we might see 473 and then 535. This does have 162 million in the float. It was 52% short float volume on Friday. And again, this one pulled up, held above the VWAP all day, averages up, did not close up at the high of the day. However, it did hold that run up throughout the day in entirety. One which I will talk about later is fuel cell. So we'll get to that afterwards as a potential long. That's one of the holdings I have. And here we go for the potential shorts, AYI. So I would look for support of 127.36 to be broken, and then 131.14 for resistance. You can see we had the 50 simple moving average here, 200 moving average here. So right now it came down, found support here, and bounced up on Friday. Had earnings, ran up to the 21 EMA, and now it's using that as a sell point, but we seem to have closed above the 200 simple moving average. So it's between the 50 and this 200 right here. So we could have more of a downside potentially, but I would definitely put it on watch. It does have 39 million in the float, and it's at a point, if it were to break down here, we could go back down, test the 124 area, and then on down here to 121. So potential $9 move to the downside if this downward motion continues this week. Next one, SHI to the potential downside. So we'll see it here on the daily chart. You can see we're hitting 52-week lows. They did have a dividend, bounced up, hit the 8, and then pulled back down from there. So pulling it back on the 15-minute chart, I would say support of 38.34 and a resistance of 38.68 or 38.70. They do have 34 million in the float, so it's an oil refinery in China. So this could be interesting with everything going on with China and oil at the moment. Next one, a potential short, Novo Nordisk. So I would look for support of 50.50 and resistance of 50.87. This does have 1.9 billion in the float. When we look back at it, you can see we've had this multi-top here, and it keeps pulling back from there. So we hit that on Thursday, and then boom, pulled back and pulled back down. And we are below the averages, and we could be going down here to test the 50 simple moving average. We do have this gap right here. Right. I'm recording right at the moment, honey. And then we have Amarin for potential short as well. Double top, triple top here. And I would look for support of 22.39 and 23.38 on the 15-minute chart. 22.39, like I said, you can see it's had that multiple double top going on for potential short. CRVS with a high of 612, support of 612 and 715 for resistance. The VWAP was really high up here. You can see it had a big run up over the past couple days. Massive volume spike up here, so potentially that was selling volume right there, as we never closed above it, and the volume is pretty high. VWAP is right here. Sorry, my little ones, my husband came in, it's sort of distracting me. So getting on to the potential swings, and CRVS has 19 million in it. Amarin has 288 million in it. So potential long for the fuel cell technology is FCEL. Another potential long swing is FNJN and HHS. As always, guys, carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. If you do like my content, please like and subscribe, and have a great week ahead.